Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, Gemini, back with another goddamn video. And in this video today, I'm gonna shoot a little bit and talk about why I think that, why the WWE has lost their nuts. They've lost their balls. They've lost their courage to be different and not just be a piece of shit wrestling show like it is now. I don't know what the fuck is going on with WWE. Maybe it's been going on for a while, but some of the things that kind of irk me a little bit on Monday Night Raw is how the fact you're watching the show and Stephanie McMahon gets more airtime than some of the superstars. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but there's some things that really bother me about Raw and wrestling right now. Is the fact that none of the wrestlers are given a chance to talk on the microphone. None of the wrestlers are given an opportunity to get over by speaking. It's like it's all the McMahon speaking or Triple H speaking. It's like none of the wrestlers are allowed to speak. The only wrestlers that you really even care about when they're speaking right now on Raw is CM Punk and Paul Heyman. And they have those guys watered down too to what they could be. Like, oh my god, like to tone Paul Heyman down. I mean, that guy could be like really far out there when he wants to be, like how he used to be in ECW, but WWE keeps him watered down. I mean, he's still entertaining, but when you got more airtime for Halle Berry than you do on 20 wrestlers standing backstage, that's a problem. That's a big problem. When you watch WrestleMania that from this past year, there's only one match that I think people are really going to give a shit about, and that's Punk and The Undertaker. Wow. It's kind of like this. Back in the day when you'd watch wrestling and they would do a steel cage match and stuff, you would sincerely care about that main event on Raw because you knew it was going to be a steel cage match and you knew it was going to be violent and you knew someone was going to get hurt. Now you can have a steel cage match. Okay, Randy Orton and John Cena are going to fight in the main event on Raw in a steel cage match. And you're kind of like, when it's over, like 10 minutes later, you're going to forget about it because it's not going to be memorable. I don't remember the last time anything memorable happened. I think the last time something memorable happened in Raw was when the Nexus attacked John Cena. Raw and WWE is so focused on a worked storyline about Triple H's concussion, and they're so focused on Subway and Burger King and Dairy Queen and their sponsors and their corporate suits that their wrestling product has just gone to hell. Absolute hell in a handbasket. It's really rough to sit through a 3-hour Monday Night Raw show now, and I can remember watching Raw back in the day where it was entertaining as hell, and you couldn't fast forward through the matches, but now it's like you want to fast forward through all the matches, man, and you don't want to stop and watch any of it. Like, to me, if Sheamus is tagging up with Daniel Bryan and they're facing the Shield, I'm fast forwarding. I don't want to see it. I don't. I used to like it on Raw when they would go backstage and do backstage stuff and wrestlers and vignettes and Jesus Christ. What's this Wyatt guy? He's been doing promos for like 8 weeks. Is he going to come to the ring and job out to Sweet Tea and Brodus Clay? Every time they get a wrestler and he starts getting a little bit entertaining or start getting a push, they brush him back. Like, they had Cody Rhodes on a huge push, and then what happened to Cody Rhodes? Cody Rhodes is like a nobody now. Like, Damien Sandow is like a tremendously entertaining character with his gimmick and stuff, but half the time they don't even give him a forum to speak. Who do they give a forum to speak besides the McMahons? Wrestling could be so good with their current superstars and their current roster. It could be so great, but honestly, if you're going to wrestle Del Rio and Swagger and Ziggler in a 3-way match, I don't want to watch that match. I don't. I'm not into their in-ring product. I'm not into their I'm not into Dolph Ziggler wearing the belt backwards and shaking his ass. I'm not into Subway or Jared Fogle on Raw for the 97th time. I'm not into any of it. I'm into maybe wrestlers having a little bit of attitude and coming out there and having a chip on their shoulder. And maybe that's why I like Mark Henry, because this guy kind of has a chip on his shoulder. It's kind of entertaining to watch. But it's like, I mean, the Cena thing where he was going to retire, that was interesting. That was what I remembered when wrestling used to be really good. Not the shit that they're doing now. I mean, it's so unentertaining watching Kane and Daniel Bryan argue back and forth for yes, no. I mean, it's so unentertaining. Everything that they're doing in wrestling now is so unentertaining. Oh my God. I fast forward through so much shit on Raw that it's not even funny. Same thing on SmackDown. You know, I'm sorry, but I'm fast forwarding through so many of the matches because it doesn't make a difference who won that match. I mean, honestly, what's the difference who won that match? Back in the day, you used to care who won that match because, say, if Ziggler had a big win, you would care about it a week later because the announcers would be like, yeah, he's coming off a big win. Now, if Ziggler beats Orton on Monday Night Raw, I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, really, who's going to care about it 5 minutes from now? And the way that wrestlers disappear and they don't even talk about it, like, what the hell happened to Evan Bourne? I mean, Sin Cara, Mystico, comes off a magical run in Mexico and Japan and all over the world, and he comes to WWE, and they make him look like a complete idiot. And I just... So many things bother me about Raw, how they don't go backstage and they don't act like they're even caring or trying anymore or anything. It's really sad to watch the current state of wrestling. No wonder why they get 2.9s. They have no attitude, they have no balls, they have no courage, they have no guts. All they're worried about is their pieces of shit in the office and their corporate suits and their fucking sponsors from Dairy Queen and Sonic and Carl's Jr. and all those other goddamn places, and they have to tone it down so they don't get in trouble, and it sucks for the fans. It really does. Like WrestleMania this year, thank God I didn't go to New York and watch that bullshit piece of shit, hunk of shit show. I mean, really. Because I remember when WrestleMania wasn't a piece of shit show. I remember when WrestleMania was the shit, man. It was great wrestling matches, great promo, great everything. Now, not so great. And none of it's great. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, I could think of so many examples of watching Raw and just being like, what the fuck? Please get CM Punk out there so he could wrestle and talk. Please get anybody out there. We're watching John Cena cut a promo and John